What's up, everybody? It's your boy Josh Showtime. This is Showtime Fight Film, where we talk all things fights. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. Let's get into the nitty gritty. We gonna talk about UFC 294. Okay? Four of them things. Your boy did good. All right. Now, as far as picking the correct winner, I was a 5-0. And probably would have been 6-0 if the fight would have went about, but it didn't. So I was 5-0. I'm going to take that dub. What is my record now? My record's got to be like, I don't know. Producer, please put my record up. Chris, I don't know what it is. I lost count, but I just know I have a highly favorable score. But if you did, once again, if you want any kind of money from me, please hit your brother's Cash App up, man. Showtime Sanders, and give me $1 too. Just asking. Now, I don't want to break down all the fights too much. I just want to make a few notes because this was a very weird card. Like all top and bottom was a very weird card. A lot of bad refereeing, weird things that was just happening throughout the entire card. Derek Brunson made up a really cool, interesting point. Well, not cool, but he made up an interesting point, which was that, he wanted to see more cards be in the afternoon. And I'm actually on his side a little bit. Now, I don't think that should be a full year thing, but I'm 100% for this in the summertime. Like, when the summer's going off and there's no sports going, there's no football, there's no basketball, I need some, afternoon, I need something to do. I don't necessarily want to stay up till 2 in the morning watching a fight. For the people who are in the East Coast, I'm on East Coast time. Now, I understand for people who are on the West Coast time that don't want this. That fight happened, I believe the main card started at 11 o'clock for them. That's annoying. I do get that. But at the same time, football starts at 10 o'clock for y'all. So, at the same time, y'all should be used to this. But yeah, for us East Coasters, man, I wouldn't mind it a few more times throughout the year. I don't think it needs to be a permanent thing. I do like to end my nights with fights sometimes, like a good portion of times. But yeah, it's a good switch-ups. Now, to talk about the fight at hand, let's talk about Mokov and Elliott, which was a very good fight. And I said it. I told you guys. I was like, hey, this is going to be his toughest fight yet. And it was. And that Tim is a tough challenge for anybody, man. You're not going to just easily walk through this dude. And even in the wrestling department, you might be able to out-grapple the guy. But you are going to struggle with the grappling somewhat because he's just so funky. He's just unorthodox. Even in his wrestling, it's weird. It's not weird, but it's different. All right? And he was out-wrestling him or out-grappling him for 2 rounds. And he was winning better exchanges. He won the first 2 on a lot of people's cards. I thought the second round was a lot closer. First round, I think he pretty much easily won off of control. And, yeah. But at the end of the day, he made one fatal mistake. And when it comes to these upper echelon guys, that's all you need. And that was impressive. Some people might be a little bit down on him because it was a close fight and he kind of was losing the fight. But I'm not, man. At the end of the day, you got to overcome adversity. That's the part of the fight game. And we saw that. He was down. And it was a very worse. Scorecards, I believe he was actually down. But even in his head, it's a competitive fight. I'm better off finishing it. And he did that. And that's, shout out to him. Good fight. Now, Saeed, that was kind of a wash, man. That was a wash. Really nothing to gain from it, nothing to really understand from it. To be honest with you, the main card, I think they said the main card totaled in 25 minutes in its entirety. Now, you can look at that as a good or a bad thing. I don't really think it's a bad thing. But I will say that it kind of, okay, I say it wasn't a bad thing, but it kind of was a bad thing. The reason why I'll say that is it's one thing if you had really good matchups that just happened to have good finishes. But in some of the cases, it was there was mismatches. It was kind of like a Bellator show. You know how Bellator is. Bellator will give you MVP versus a dude they just met off the street just to get engagement and just to get, make him look good. It kind of felt like that when it came to the first, two fights with Worley Alves. And I'm sorry, I don't even remember homie's name that got whooped by Saeed. But it came off I just want to get these guys' name out there so people can say these are the real deal. But yet still, it is what it is. They look good. It was really good knockouts and a good submission finish by Saeed and keep it pushing. But the fights that we really got to talk about, the ones that really, really mattered, was obviously the co-main and the main event. Now, with the co-main, let's just go ahead and get this out there. Like, I probably am more favorable when it comes to Chimaev than a lot of people have been. A lot of people have been pooping on him about the performance because it was a very close fight and Kamaru Usman was coming off of 12 days notice. And that's fair. I'm not even mad at you. And this is also a new weight class for Kamaru Usman. I'm not mad at you. I get it. But I'm impressed. Personally, I'm impressed. Why? He did not prepare for Kamaru Usman. Yes, Kamaru Usman didn't prepare for him and all this other stuff. Yes. Is his cardio still a question mark? Absolutely. And I said it was going to be because of the way he just starts. But yet and still, for him to out-grapple Kamaru Usman, I don't care if Kamaru didn't train and like as much, this, that, or third. Kamaru Usman is born, raised wrestling. He's been wrestling since he was a kid. He's a wrestler. He given up one takedown his entire career before this fight. And I don't know what them stats were saying, like 8 for 10 or 8 for 11 or takedown defenses or whatever. I don't really know how to be grading that, but from what I seen was when Chimaev really wanted the takedown, he got the takedown, except for maybe like twice. Yes, there was some half-hearted like shots that really wasn't serious, but when he really wanted to take Kamaru down, he took him down, and that was impressive to me because I wanted to see this wrestling. That's the one I wanted to see. I wanted to see that more than I wanted to see them strike. Just because I know how good of a wrestler and how good of a defensive wrestler or how good at defending takedowns Kamaru is, and I know how much of a dog Chimaev is. And what we saw was weight mattered, strength mattered, and he was the bigger guy, the stronger guy, and he was able to bully him a little bit. The first round, he completely shut him down. People, Justin Gaethje was upset at the 10-8. I wasn't upset because at the end of the day, yes, there was really no damage that was done. There was no serious damage. It was a lot of pity pats. But what did Kamaru Usman do in that round? Nothing. Literally nothing. And that in itself earns a 10-8. You did nothing. He told you what to do and he made you do what he wanted to do. That's 10-8. Ain't nothing to debate about that. Second round. Chimaev took that round off. He was tired, and you can see that he was tired. He did not throw any shots for real. He went for a takedown at the end of the round. When it comes to his strikes, they were slow and it was very heavy, very flat-footed. So it was clear that he was tired. Kamaru Usman took advantage of that. He won that round pretty easily, in my opinion. I don't think that one is too much of a debate, even though I know he lost that round on somebody else's card, but I don't really foresee how that's a thing. He lost that round. I thought Kamaru landed the better damage. The leg kicks, the headshots, the twos, those were landing enough and more. He was more frequent in his action than Chimaev was. Now, the third round is the round that is genuinely up for debate. Why? Because Kamaru got taken down in the middle of the round, and he got controlled for a decent portion of that round. Now, once again, Chimaev didn't do anything. That is the problem. His ground and pound was non-existent for real. He didn't do much. And that is what, at the end of that round, when they started getting the flurries, and then when the combination started riding, Kamaru was landing. Kamaru was getting those twos out. Like, he was getting those straight shots off, and they were landing. Chimaev does have a chin, and he was able to eat a lot of the shots. But he was when it came to the stamina department, I think the clear favorite in this fight was obviously Usman. Usman was winning that fight. And that surprised me. I didn't think that was going to happen between these two. But that was clear as day what happened. Kamaru had the favorable, was the better of the two when it came to the stand-up. The wrestling, it was obvious, who was the better person. And you can blame that. And that's the thing. And I stand by what I said in the my last episode. At 170, Kamaru Usman is winning this fight. And especially if that was a championship fight. If that was a championship fight, like, no joke, Chimaev might even get finished in this fight. Now, even at 185, full camp, you can make a big argument Kamaru will still win that fight. But at the same time, you got to remember, Chimaev is probably not going to fight the exact same. So it's different. So you can't simply just say he would win. But, I mean, even if that was a 5-round fight that night, Kamaru probably wins that fight. You just don't know. And like I said, I am high on Chimaev off the performance because it was a gut check, and he's fought two dogs. Even though they're both 170-pounders, you can argue that both those 170-pounders can fight at 185 and still win a good portion of those fights. Now, I'm not saying they will be champion, but they will still be top 10 fighters. And 185 is getting tougher and tougher, by the way. So you got Bo Nix and a whole bunch of other guys coming up. It's getting real. But yeah, I think we learned some about Chimaev, and we also learned that he's kind of consistent. He's a fast starter. The first round, you have really no chance of really beating him. But after that, he fades. And if he gets the fight, and I'm down for him getting a championship fight with Strickland, it's going to be, can Strickland survive the first round? If he does, because he very well can get knocked out in the first round, and he can get grounded, pounded, and beaten the hell out of for a whole round. Because I know Chimaev will be able to take him down. If he can take down Kamaru Usman, he can take down Strickland. But I just have a very, very, very tough time seeing him last after the second round versus Strickland, though. Strickland will power pressure. He will be able to beat him up. And if he doesn't throw punches, Strickland's going to force the shots out of him. And if Strickland can eat those, it's going to be a long night for Chimaev. So we shall see. Now, and Kamaru Usman, I don't really know what's next for the guy. Is he going to stay at 185? Probably not. I guess go back down to 170, but I don't know, man. He's in a tough space right now. Really tough space. He could try it again at 185, but I don't know. But all respect to Kamaru, by the way. All freaking respect. He put his heart out there and he fought his butt off. I was very impressed with Kamaru as well. But I was impressed by both guys. Obviously Kamaru more than anybody because it was 12 days notice, bigger guy, bigger weight class, and first time there, and he showed heart and he had the better cardio. Like, them Africans are for real, bro. But now let's talk about the main event. It ain't too much to talk about really, but let's just go ahead and break it down. I told you guys that it was going to be more one-sided, and more than likely, I ain't gonna say more than likely, but there was possibly going to be a finish by Islam. I didn't think it was going to be by devastating knockout like it was, but I'm not super surprised. Once again, championship fighters should not be taking short notice fights unless they were the person that was already booked. Like, the UFC dropped the ball. Let's keep it a stack. Like, they should have had Gamrot, whoever was the backup, they should have had him fight. Having Alexander get, like, sunned like that and get, like, KO'd, knocked the F out like that was just bad marketing and bad decision. I said that beforehand, like, not the last episode, but the episode before that, I was like, I don't know how to feel about this because it's 12 days and you're going against the best of the best. This is not what championship fighters do for real. They never do that. Floyd would never, ever take a last minute, hey, Floyd, can you do this fight in 12 days? He would never. John Jones would never step in. Like, and there's a reason why, because they're smart. They know when you go against those best guys, you got to be fully prepared. You got to have a good camp. You can't just come out there willy-nilly and think things are going to change. These guys are human. So, you know, he got beat. Islam, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't think either of their stock has risen for me or depleted. It's the same thing because I just don't think it was fair for either guy. Islam did what he should have done, and Volk did the best he could. And it ruined any opportunity for a third fight because, like, we seen what happened now. And even though it wasn't fair to Alex because Alex didn't have a full camp, and Alex is the type of fighter, like, he can come in short notice and still win fights. But what makes him so good is the game plans. The game plans and how, not unorthodox, but how good his coaches are and how they can develop a strategy. And he executes it so well. That's what makes Alex so great. So the fact that he couldn't really do that and really couldn't prepare, he cut himself short. So, you know, it sucked, but it is what it is. You got to accept that. Now, after this episode, I got to do my quick breakdown of the Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury fight. And yeah, you know, let's go ahead and do that. But once again, like and subscribe. And I want to know what you guys think, man. Like, what's next for all these guys, especially what's next for Alexander Volkanovski? Because I do not think he should be fighting in January. There's no reason why he should be fighting. You just got sunned and knocked out cold. Well, not cold, but you got knocked out pretty bad. You don't need to fight Topuria, and you just got knocked out. It just makes me think Bisping. I don't want to see it. But it's probably going to happen because he's a crazy man. But yeah, we'll be back, man. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and stay blessed as always, Slim.